All right, Matt Steinmetz, Daryl the Guru Johnson with you, and joining us right now, Lorenzo Neal. You can hear Lorenzo every Monday between 6 and 7, the Football Hour with Sean Salisbury. Hey, Lo, what's going on, my friend?
Hey, not a lot, guys. Just, God, can't wait to get into this and let you guys tell me what the heck happened.
Well, here's kind of where I'm at, Lorenzo. Why, after watching this team for 7 weeks, would you think they are a Super Bowl contender? Why would you think they are at 3-4?
Right. No, it's a great valid point. First of all, I just want to shout out the punter at Kansas City. He decided not to take the trip, so he went on a vacation for 2 days because they travel on Saturday. He didn't have to work yesterday. He didn't even punt the ball one time. But as I digest,
gotcha.
I look at. It wasn't funny. But,
I get you too. Yeah.
I mean, can you believe that, guys? You're talking about everyone talks about this defense, and I understand injuries, and that's what I've been saying earlier on the show yesterday when I said, hey, this is not the same defense. Everyone talks about how great this defense is. I said, man, let me tell you right now, they are not the same defense with the injuries, not having Ken Law and those guys in the middle. People can run the ball out. You saw what Atlanta did last week. Atlanta just put on big boy pads and said, I'm going to beat you up. There's nothing you can do. I'm going to run the ball right down your throat, and you guys can't stop me. And you saw that last week. The 49ers defense is a tenacity defense. The defense plays fast. They want to get that pressure on the quarterback. But they ran into a buzzsaw yesterday. And when Steiny, you're saying, well, why should you think this team is good? I mean, you look at the defense and look where they were ranked and all the things they were doing. You're ready to crown them one of the greatest defense of all time. That's what some of the people were saying about how good this Niner defense was. So, was it trick? Was it treat? Was it fool's gold because the level of competition the last 5 weeks they really haven't played anyone, and you finally played a team that's with a winning record? Was that the issue, or was it just this team's not good right now, offensively and defensively?
Wow, Lo, I'll say this. I came into the green room, and I will never, ever blame one player for a loss, and especially yesterday. But this started last week, and I'm going to ask you again about 54. I'm not blaming him for yesterday, but Lo, I was told we may be talking about the best middle inside linebacker in the game. I'm not seeing that. And again, you played. What are you seeing or what are you not seeing from 54? Am I off my rocker?
I don't think you're off your rocker. I think a lot of things, Guru, when I'm watching these guys play, usually it's called grub or you hold. And when you have a nose guard that can hold, he's lined up in the one technique, Guru, where he's lined up on the center, and he's got a shade on the guard too. So he's in that one eye. So it's in between both those guys. Great centers, nose guards, Guru, they'll grab the center and hold the guard until now the linebacker, the middle linebacker, he can run downhill. I'm watching linemen double team, boom, pin down the nose guard, and then they're scraping right up to the linebacker, and they're not keeping him clean. Ray Lewis, you got to realize what made Ray Lewis, and Steiny, that is Saragusa. You remember Big Saragusa?
Yeah.
What he did, he can hold guys up, and so he keeps guys off the linebackers. Because let's face it, when you got a 300-pound offensive guard or 290 or 3+, coming downhill to a linebacker, that's a mismatch. So that's why it's very imperative that you get your defensive line up front to say, here's your job. You don't need to make the tackle. You need to keep him. Don't let them scoop or don't let them ace up to the Mike linebacker. And right now, go to answer your question. Is he playing great? No, he's not. But also the defensive line, in my opinion, is not keeping him clean and not keeping bodies off of him, so he's not able to utilize what he does well, and that's use his speed.
Lorenzo Neal joining us on 95.7 The Game. He joins us every Monday at 1 o'clock, and then you can hear him again from 6 to 7 with Sean Salisbury, the Football Hour. There seems to be a lot of talk out there, Lorenzo, about the scripted plays that Kyle Shanahan brings into the game, that those seem to work extremely well early in the game. Let me ask you, because I heard Bill Walsh, of course, scripted plays, but is that common for all teams to script plays the first 15 or so, and then is there such a thing as a coach who may struggle when the plays aren't scripted, when he's got to come up with them in the heat of the moment?
Well, I think it's a great question, Steiny, but the first 15 or first 12 or first dozen or first 20 plays, every team I've been on, they've done that.
Okay.
Because you know what, you're doing it for several reasons. One, you want to get the guys and let them know, hey, look, we're coming to you. We're thinking about you. We want you to know this is what we're doing. We're going to get the ball in your hand. Your offensive lineman, hey, get your mind right. So all week long or the night before, boom, we're going to go over the first 15. And you script those plays. Because now guys can leave, they can write them down in the meeting, they can write them down in that last team meeting before the game and say, okay, this is what we're doing. Who do I got on that? Who do I got on that? And usually those first 15 or 20 plays, you repeat them. You don't just say, it's not that you just go out because you run 70 plays. You don't go 70 plays. You don't go 70 all new plays. You know that, Steiny. You go and you say, play your hits. Just like when you guys do radio, you and Steiny, you guys play your hits. You know what you're going to talk about in each of the quarter hours, and you play the hits. For football, it's the same thing. If you see, hey, look, I'm going to run this zone play, but this time I'm a motion. This time I'm going to bring two over. I'm a shop. I'm going to make both of them start over here. Then I'm going to, before the snap of the ball, I'm going to have one move, and the other one stay there. Now I'm going to motion back across. All you're doing is just putting a little window dressing on it. So I think people get this, they think, oh my God, the first 15, it looks like it works, and then what happened? No, because you're still regurgitating plays. Defenses don't go and give you 1,070-some defenses on each play. You're running a good defense. You're playing cover 2. You're playing 2 Tampa 2 or 2 Mike, where the Mike linebacker takes the middle of the field. You're playing cover 3. You're playing a single high safety. You're running some corner, but you're not. You can hold window dressing. You can boom. Start in an over defense, and that right before the snap of the ball, they shift. And now what it does, it's trying to make the offensive line have to think on the move. Okay, boom. We showed you one thing right before the snap of the ball. Boom, you see the lineman switch. Okay, now I don't have the same guy. Who do I have? So it's just both teams do that. All teams do that. I just think that this team right now, Steiny and Guru, they're not playing consistent. There's no side of the ball playing good. Offense is not playing good. Defense is not playing well. Special teams is not playing well. Right now, this team has to find itself because it hasn't done it in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, Lo, you're on fire. I'm going to say this. Again, Steiny and I are not in the locker room, but we hear what these players say. Some don't even speak, but all of a sudden, the last couple of weeks, 85, George Kittle's come out and said, defensively, guys got to make plays, not named Bosa and Warner. Offensively, we got to get the playmakers the ball. Ayuk, I feel like he's saying more. He's pretty quiet, but he came out and said, we got too much weaponry to only have 23 points week in, week out. Lo, are they saying something to the coach? Because Kyle is the only one that he's the conductor. And I feel like they're saying more than what they're letting on. How do you take those guys kind of mouthing off to me?
You know what's cool, but it's nothing wrong with you looking at it like that and understanding that. And I don't think you're looking at it half. I don't know if the glass half full or half empty. What is it? I think there's two sides to every story, and I think you have to look at it and say, okay, what does your eyes see when you watch a play? Go back and watch it and say, okay, I'm watching this play. Guys are open. Shoot, you saw, McCaffrey down the middle of the field, and he decides to throw it to another guy. He had him beat. So it's like you got to go back and you got to look at it, and then you see, okay, even on the safety, Steiny, you've seen this on the safety. If Jimmy G steps up, instead he runs back and to the left, and now he puts Trent in a tough situation, and now the guy now he doesn't got to run through Trent. All he's got to do is go right around him. So some of the things, I get it. We can call it on the coach. But also, guys, it's execution. I mean, you see some of the times that there's you saw 9, 13 yards a pop, and all of a sudden, then it's only 2 yards. What happened? Guys bowed their neck and start changing. So I understand what you're saying. I think you have to look at the head coach, because if you're the head coach and you're making the calls, but then you got to look at players, and then you got to look at personnel, and you got to say, what's going on? Because Debo wasn't necessarily involved yesterday.
Yeah.
What is going on? And those are things, to me, guys, that's cool. Sometimes you got to realize who has the ball in his hand. Cal can't go throw the ball. And that's why we talked about, okay, you got Jimmy's going to give back. This is what Jimmy's limited. And you got to see it again last night. Yeah. You got to see sometimes the sporadicness and him just becoming unglued if he's not playing, if he's got to play from behind. I mean, come on, guys. In the end zone, right before halftime, you should score a touchdown, but at least get 3.
Yeah.
You can't, right? You can't do that, right?
Right. Lorenzo Neal joining us on 95.7 The Game. Lorenzo, I'm willing to obviously concede only one practice for Christian McCaffrey before he played on Sunday, so he'll have a whole week. Give us an idea of what you would need to do in 1 or 2 days after joining a new team to be able to play a few plays, or 21, I think, in his case. But then secondly, do you expect the 49ers offense over the rest of the season to look differently, look more dynamic with McCaffrey?
It should, guys. It should, because here's the deal. Both of you guys can say Jeff Wilson, he can run the ball. We all can say that this guy, he can cut back and he runs hard. We got to give him props that he can play, right? Can we say that it's safe to say that he can play? And you look at McCaffrey. But look at, you saw yesterday in the passing game, McCaffrey catches the pass, picks up this. You watch his patience. I don't think people think, oh, well, it's so hard. It's odd as to your left, even as to your right. The playbook, it's not like you're playing hard. I can't play right now because I'm too old, but I can go out there and know the running game right now. I can go out there and understand, hey, look, okay, you're on trips right, H trips right. So tell him H, he's going to go to the trip side or whatever, and he's got a read route. Okay, we got an option route. So I don't think it was far-fetched to ask him. Now, he can get a lot more comfortable. He's going to understand what the blocking is, but you guys know, in over defense, under defense, the scheme is not going to change. Either you're taking an open step or you're taking a jab step. It's running back. There's a track and there's a trail that it still becomes immutable. Now, if he was playing receiver, because now you got to say, okay, who's playing the X, who's playing the Y, wherever the tight end is, because the tight end moves to the side. Now you're not longer the X, you're the Z. Now you become the Z. What's your route combination? So I think receiver would have been more difficult, but running backs, it's like, it's a track. All these plays are ran. There's not new wrinkle plays for McCaffrey. It's just a matter of getting the timing and the patience and understanding some of the verbiage. So I think McCaffrey, to answer your question, Steiny, this offense should look a lot more dynamic, especially because now you can put Debo in the backfield, put McCaffrey in slot. You can go now. You can go put all 5 wides. The things that you can do, because DBs have a hard time guarding him. Linebackers can't guard. McCaffrey is a talent, guys. He's a talent. He's a nightmare. He's a tough matchup. So without a doubt, to me, I'm in the same, like Guru, you said earlier, Ayuk and I'm talking, you're right. This kind of talent, you should not be able to limit this offense to 23 points. And I totally agree with Brandon Ayuk.
Wow. Lo, let me ask you this, because you mentioned it earlier. Bosa was back. I didn't think he was going to play. And you talked about this D-line. Kinlaw, I mean, man, it's just, I know Niner fans are disappointed he can't stay on the field. I don't know where Armstead is at, but they need all hands on deck. Greenlaw goes down. I'm looking at yesterday for the defense standpoint, it was a one-off. But, Lo, if those guys don't continue, if they continue to be absent, I mean, how can this defense be great moving forward?
I don't think it's going to be. I can tell you right now, losing Kinlaw, don't having Armstead and having E-Man being gone, this defense is not going to be great. It can be good. When you guys are talking about being an elite defense, like Steiny, you were saying earlier, who have they played? Kansas City, if you look at the record, that's the only team probably with a winning record. Everyone else they played, does Seattle have a winning record? Maybe now, since yesterday. Now they
Denver's 2-5, Lo.
The Rams are 3-3. Don't necessarily have a. So when you think about who they played, Chicago's not that good. There's 2 games that this team should have lost, in my opinion. And yesterday and the week before, Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta just got off the bus and whipped their ass, and there was nothing they can do about it. Yesterday, guys, I just watched the team. It's 3rd and 13, 3rd and 15, and 3rd and forever, and you're letting the bombs over. You're letting people get beat, getting behind you. That's inexcusable. The several times they off the field, they didn't even punt the ball. You got to realize, a college team. Okay, now you tell me. Every time a team touched the ball, a college team, Kansas City would have scored. That's what they did. Now, maybe it would have been time of possession. Maybe it would have been little bit shorter because they probably could have scored faster against. But tell me, what did they do, in you guys' opinion, that any team couldn't do? You didn't punt. You scored every single time you had the ball. What did they do defensively? So this is what D'Amico has to look and say, hey, I know I want to get a job, and people are talking about he's going to be a head coach. His defense was horrible, and they let him down. And now they're in a situation where they got to bow their necks, and they got to get better because yesterday's performance, I'm just telling you guys, was inexcusable.
Lo, I want you to role play real quick here, because in my corporate job, twice a year, we'd have a review. Oh, boy, would your boy be nervous. And the boss would tell you about the job you've done. Through 7 games, if you had to talk about Kyle's, what he's done through 7 games, 3 and 4, what would you tell him?
I would tell him, like, who are you? What is your identity? How do you get these guys back to play and play at the level? Because everyone's talking about the talent that they have. They have talent. They're in a position that they have enough talent to be a lot better team. So what do you tell Cal? Cal Shanahan has to realize, look, I'm the coach. People are going to blame me no matter what. No matter what happens when they blame. But we're in a situation where he's got to say, guys, we can't listen to the noise. All we can do is look at the facts. And right now, guys, let's be honest. People outside are going to say what they want to say. But we're not playing well. I got to do a better job coaching. Defense, you're supposed to be this great defense. All these, what you guys do yesterday. Offense, you have all these weapons. We went out and got another game changer, one of the best offensive weapons in the league, running back wise. And what did we do? And we did not compete yesterday at the level that we used to. So you got to look at it like that, because let's face it, Guru. Look around the league. Name me a team in the NFC that's done better than the 49ers the last 5 years. 49ers been in two NFC championship games, won one, lost in the Super Bowl, been in the playoffs only 2 years removed from the playoff. I mean, only 1 year, one out of Cal Shanahan's, he only missed the playoff, twice? So when you think about the rest of the league, California's just different. I mean, you look at the Chargers, I think all the talent, look at them underachieving, got one of those young quarterbacks, look at how bad they're playing. So it's like, when you look at it, it's like, what's the alternative, Steiny and Guru? That's what I'm looking at. Go look at what Cal Shanahan has done in his tenure and compare it around the league. Compare it to every single coach. And is there 3 coaches that's done more, that's been to a Super Bowl, that's been to the NFC Championship, that's getting to the playoffs? So I don't know what – I understand they won a Super Bowl, and I get that, and you got to get there. But is it as bad as it could be? Is it as bad as everyone makes it out to be?
Yeah. Hey,
Good
Lo,
stuff, man.
Appreciate it as always. And
No worries, guys.
We'll listen to you at 6 o'clock with Sean Salisbury on the Football Hour. That's Lorenzo Neal,
Guys.
our main man.
He ain't happy.